Say I love you. Ndinokuda. What do you lose? Do you lose a kidney? No. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Mel. To the new and returning subscribers, welcome. It's lovely to see you again, and thank you for sticking around during my little hiatus. If you're new around here, please, by all means, feel free to look around, check out the other videos on the channel. And if you enjoy the content, remember to click the subscribe button below and join the family. In today's video, we are going to be talking about relationship skills. And this is a topic I've been meaning to discuss for a hot minute now, ever since I came across a Facebook post where some guy was asking his audience about their toxic relationship traits. He said that often when a relationship goes bad, our knee-jerk reaction is to blame the other people and focus on what they did wrong. And, as people, we seldom self-introspect or even look at where we also contributed to the demise of the relationship. So, because I had a lot of time and I like things, I went through like over 400 comments, and I was so surprised by the honesty in that comment section. So I noticed a trend in most people's responses about what made them toxic in the relationship. And I just had to note them down because I was like, this is too good to pass up, Anyway, let me read them out. The first thing that most people said is that for the non-Shona speaking people, it means that they do not know how to kiss up to anyone. They cannot compromise. They cannot, kiss up. 2, vanoramwa, which simply means they easily give up. They throw in the towel, especially when things get hard. 3, vanehasha. They're short-tempered, they're temperamental, they're moody, they're hard to get along with. 4, they hold grudges. So about this one, there was a particular lady who said something that shook me to the core. She was like, you know what? If I'm dealing with someone and they do me dirty, I act like I didn't notice. I just act like it rolled off my back like water off a duck's back, right? But she'll be plotting horror for that person to get back at them. And she says that I cannot move on or get healing until I revenge. So she cannot move on without doing damage. I was like, what? Is that not witchcraft? Okay. Some people say they're mean and they're spiteful. Others, and this mostly came from the women, say that vanotaurisa. They talk too much, yep. So in this talking too much, it's not about sharing opinions or discussions. It's about crossing the boundary with our words, saying unnecessary things, fighting below the belt. That's the context in which they talk too much. Others say vanoshusha, which means they nag. They are hard to get along with. They are hard to please. They're just a pain where the sun doesn't shine. Others say that they shut down in conflict, like in a situation where they're disagreeing with their partner and their partner's trying to make a point, they just shut down. They don't want to hear it. It's sort of like talk to the hand because the ears don't want to hear it. And you can't have a conversation with someone like that. Others say that they struggle to forgive, which I suppose ties in with holding grudges. And then others say they struggle to say sorry. Like even when they're wrong, they can't say sorry, they can't apologize. What this taught me is that relationships do not fail because people lack self-introspection. No, quite the contrary. People are very much aware of the ways that they're toxic and how they're difficult to love. So relationships fail because people lack relationship skills. Most people just don't know how to be in relationship with another person. It's like dying of thirst whilst your partner is holding a tall glass of water. You have a need, you're thirsty, and your partner has the means to meet that need. They have the water. But where the disconnect happens is that we do not know how to articulate our needs well to our partners. So instead of saying something like, may I please have some water, I'm thirsty, most of us expect our partners to be mind readers and anticipate our needs. And when they fail to do that, because that's impossible, we become bitter and resentful. That's when you find someone like, Can this person not see that my lips are dry? Can they not hear like this cough, like this dry cough because I'm thirsty? Maybe they can see your lips are dry. Maybe they can hear the cough, but they cannot comment on that because they don't know where the need is. Communicate. A lot of times, our inability to communicate our needs to our partners or to even build or develop proper relationship skills comes from within ourselves, our own issues. When we have our own inner turmoil, it's hard for us to be in relationship with someone else. For example, one, a fear of conflict. Unfortunately, a lot of people have been brainwashed by movies and young adult romance novels into believing that a good relationship has no conflict, that people do not fight if the relationship is right, it's perfect, which is a lot of rubbish. Because think about it here, two different people with your own histories, coming from two different types of background, you were brought up differently, you're not going to see eye to eye all the time. I mean, if you do not get along with your own sibling, what makes you think you're going to get along with them? And because we do not want to get rid of unhealthy notions about relationships, like if it's right, it will flow, it will be easy, it will be like a stroll in the park. And also because we do not want to be rejected, we tend to end up burying our heads in the sand whenever there's conflict. And whatever you bury, it will sprout eventually, and it's not going to sprout as a seed, it will be a whole tree. Another inner turmoil is the fear of rejection. And I think the reason a lot of people bottle in their emotions and do not want to express negative emotions like jealousy, rage, anger is because they're terrified of being rejected. They're terrified of being less than perfect. Do you know what I mean? And I think those emotions, negative or good, is part of being human, right? The fear of rejection will hold you hostage in your relationship because you'll always be scared to show up as who you are. So when you're in that relationship, you're not truly yourself, you're not authentic, but a caricature of yourself. It's a valid fear, and I do empathize with the people going through that, but if someone loves you, they'll love you for the good, the bad, and the ugly. Another inner issue that prevents us from being good partners is pride. Some people would rather chew glass than be vulnerable with their partner. They would rather suffer in silence than show that there's a chink in their armor. There's nothing wrong with needing someone. Nothing wrong with needing reassurance from your partner from time to time. Nothing wrong with expressing to your partner that you're struggling in certain ways. It's part of being human. And pride is the enemy of vulnerability and open and honest communication. So we have fear of conflict, fear of rejection, and pride as some of the internal stuff that messes up our relationships. Then we do have some external factors, and top of that list is poor relationship advice. Where do I even begin with that? We are living in the age of hashtag savage. Everyone is a savage now, No one wants to be a lover anymore. Everyone wants to be a fighter. Everyone's all about violence and for the streets. A lot of these dating coaches I've seen, especially the ones who target women, push for mind games, especially like intermittent reinforcement, where they say, when you're in a relationship with a guy, don't be too available. Put some love, then withdraw. Mix love with torture, which is pretty much hot and cold. And of course, there's some guys who I've seen who be like, oh, you want to keep this girl? Oh, play hard to get, treat her, what's that? Treat her mean to keep her keen. Again, mind games. And I've said time and time again on this channel that the purpose of mind games is control. And you cannot be in a relationship with anyone if all you want is control. You cannot You cannot control another person and expect to have a fulfilling relationship with them. That is a lot of rubbish. I know some people will be like, I don't subscribe to these modern dating trends. Thank you very much, ma'am. Cool. But if you do subscribe to the old-fashioned type of advice, the toxic type, then it will mess up your relationship as well. For example, the most common is boys will be boys, justifying bad behavior by some men. Oh, men will cheat. Oh, men will stray. Yeah, leave him, let him go chase the skirt. He'll be back home. Boys will be boys. Or, women are children. Is your wife raging? Women are children. Just indulge her, coddle her. She's a child. No, a relationship can only be between two consenting adults. Thank you very much. Or the one where people are all about peace. Push for peace. Sir, is your wife cheating? Don't say anything. Keep it in for peace. Ma'am, did your spouse father a child elsewhere? No, don't mind. Don't talk too much about it. Keep it in for peace, for the sake of your marriage, for the sake of your relationship. That's why a lot of people are bitter, because they are told to kuti vashingirire, vabatirire in toxic situations, and they're unhappy. Not all advice is bad advice, but you need to reach a point where you receive information that is fed to you and pick what is most helpful to you and your mental health and emotional health. Okay, with that said, let us get to the meat and potatoes of this video. What are some of the top relationship skills that you and I must strive to develop so that we can have healthy relationships? Number 1, empathy. And I'm going to read this the way I wrote it because I do not want to mess this up. It's okay to get upset, but it's important to realize when an argument is going nowhere and turning into a power struggle. Not everything has to be a fight to the death. It's not Mortal Kombat. There's no finish him. I can't wait for the movie. Anyway, try listening to your partner and meeting them in the middle. Be kind and loving even in the middle of a conflict. Don't turn into a self-indulgent and caring, mean person because you're upset. Put yourself in your partner's shoes and respond with kindness. Empathy. Skill number 2, communication. Like I said earlier, no one is a mind reader, or at least no one I know of. Most people are not mind readers, so let's work with that assumption. Most people are not mind readers. Use your words. Communicate your needs to your partner. And when your partner talks to you, listen. Actively listen. Don't listen to respond, but listen to understand. Skill number 3, take interest in what matters to your partner. Some of you stay in your own little worlds and cannot be bothered to come down from your ivory towers to see what the peasants are doing. In this case, the peasant is your partner. Take interest in what they're doing. Are they rearing chickens? Oh, interesting. Find out the names of chickens, diseases that affect chickens. I don't know anything about chickens, really. Show some interest. Do they like football? Know that they're 11 people in a team. And find out why they're chasing a ball. Just don't be like, ugh, soccer again, 4, and this is my favorite one, and I think I should say it first, but anyway, we soldier on. Express your love, devotion, and affection for your partner. Some of you are stones. Say, I love you. What do you lose? Do you lose a kidney? No. Give compliments. Express gratitude. Be their emotional rock. Be someone they can lean on. Be their number 1 cheerleader. Babe, you want to do this? You know what? Fighting. You can do this. I support you. Talk to your partner with warmth. Some of you wonder why your partner has checked out. Why they're still physically in the relationship, but they've checked out. And they're having their emotional needs met by someone else. And once someone's emotional needs are being met by someone else, trust and believe the physical ones are going to follow pretty soon. This happens because you just don't know how to show love and affection. No one is asking you to be Romeo, Romeo. Tarinzorudo. 5, commitment. Show up. Show up in your relationship daily. There is nothing as frustrating as carrying the burden or the weight of a relationship on your own. Of course, there are going to be days when the scales are not balanced, right? Where you might have to do more in the relationship to keep the balance, or your partner might have to do more, you know? Because a relationship is all about balancing each other out as best as you can, right? And that is commitment. Work on difficulties together. Plan for the future together. Protect your relationship together, you know? It's not one person's job to go and fight for the relationship, to be beating off women from her husband or from her boyfriend, or to be threatening every guy who looks at his girl. Both of you should be possessive about your relationship and like, nah, this is ours to keep together. You know, just give it your best and all of your attention. Okay, so I have said a mouthful in this video, and let me bring it to a close, right? In conclusion, it's very important for us to try and develop good relationship skills, because when our personal lives, our love lives are in a good state, the rest of the other aspects of our lives tend to fall in place, or at least become more manageable. For example, imagine losing a job, right? A very good job or any job, and you have a supportive partner by your side who'll say to you, listen, honey, it's not the end of the world. We'll figure this out together. I'm here for you. Doesn't that make it so much better? You feel like you can climb Everest in a tank top after that, you know? As opposed to being in the same situation and your relationship has gone down the toilet. Your blood pressure will skyrocket. Everything will look bad. You start yelling at the kids, you start yelling at the dog, you start yelling at your neighbor. You will just spiral out of control. So it's for our own benefit that we try and build and cultivate good relationships with our partners. With that said, the video is over. I hope you enjoyed it, that you learned something. And if you did, remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Yes, I'm talking to you. Subscribe. 202 subscribers. Yay! Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, until the next time we meet, Musare Minyasha.